In the Gospel of today, we have a story of wicked tenants and a good landlord. The parable is in fact an allegory of God's dealing with his people. The landowner is God. The vineyard is Israel. The wicked tenants are the people of Israel, and in a more specific way, its religious leaders. The servants are the prophet sent by God and so often rejected and killed. And the son of the landowner is Jesus himself, whom they kill also. Such story make us sad and disappointed. Obviously, the expected fruits are not there. Today's reading also seems to suggest that even God sometimes feels like this. The words of the first reading are a cry of God's heart when he said, "What more could I have done for my vineyard that I have not done?" In spite of all the love God shown to his people, Israel, all he got in return was complete ingratitude. And this is, to some extent, what is still experienced until today. The fruits God expects from his people often are not there. God looked for peace for his people, and he got division and conflict. He looks for true worship, but he got idolatry. For his people, he looked for justice in their dealing with one another. And what he got is injustice, corruption, and exploitation of the poor and of the weak. God looked for goodness, then he got evil. He looked for caring and sharing, then he got greed. He looked for temperance, but he got excessive eating and drinking. He looked for community, but he got selfishness and exclusiveness. He looked for humility, but he got pride. He looked for a wise and a godly living, but he got often a pagan lifestyle. This sad and disappointing story is our story, is the story of the word of today. But in spite of that, there is a good news. God did not abandon or destroy his vineyard. He just handed it over to others, to new people of God who will produce the fruits. The stone which the builder rejected has become the cornerstone. This was the Lord's doing, and it is a marvel in our eyes. Even though we sometimes still fail to respond adequately to God's love, God still gave us chance after chance. He wants us to make good use of the gift and all opportunities that He has given us so that we can grow as His beloved children. The Christian community that we are is the new people of God, the new vineyard that Christ planted and tended with such care that He gave His own life for it. Obviously, the good news is that God never retaliates, never return evil for evil. God never gave up on His people. Just as the rain ensures that the earth becomes fruitful, so God persists until He gets a positive answer. The parable of today shows us that there is only one way to overcome evil, and this is with good. Even though in the parable of the vineyard a lot of ugly things happen, at the end, evil does not have the last word. At the end, good prevails. Jesus Himself, in His life, experienced the ugliness of this world, but He did not answer it with more ugliness. He triumphed over evil by good. And in that sense, He has become a model for all of us. And now He continues to challenge us, His follower, the tenant of the new vineyard, the church that we are, to produce the fruit of justice, of love, and of peace in a now environment full of hatred and division, as we experience now in Hong Kong. It is, in fact, a great trust conferred to us, Christians. It is a great privilege for us, but privilege brings also responsibility. And because of that, at the same time, it is a great challenge. Brother and sister, may each one of us be worthy of that great privilege and challenge that is in front of us. Amen.